Being my year group's resident fly on the wall, I definitely saw some shit in high school, and now it's time for me to divulge 4 of those stories onto the internet. One day, one of my friends walked out of school without permission and all the way home to smash a cold one at his place. He then strangely decided 40 minutes later to come back to school. All the kids were annoying him, asking him dumb questions like how many he had to drink and...
Oi, are you sloshed, mate?
Fuck off. And to be honest, he's doing his best to act sober, all things considered. I took a seat next to him in class so I could ask...
Mate, why'd you bother coming back?
To which he said...
Oh, because, mate, I didn't want to get into trouble.
Now, let that sink in. All of this hard effort was because he was worried about getting caught truanting. And the best part was, he didn't even get caught in the end. None of the staff knew that he had taken his little drinking break. One lunchtime before we had sport, these 2 kids in my year were quietly showing off the illicit substances they had bought earlier that day. Everyone was having a peek inside the envelopes to have a look, but one of my friends, for some reason, just walked up, stuck his finger into the envelope, and then stuck that same finger back into his mouth so he could have a taste.
What the fuck? Dude!
When we did sport the next period, my friend was now playing at a much more energetic rate than usual, and the PE teacher did notice this spike in enthusiasm.
I'm loving this new performance you put in, mate. You keep that up.
Although, I do wonder if it was in part a placebo effect on my friend's part, but we won't really ever know. The standard procedure when sports started was to line up and get both your name and whether or not you had a sports uniform marked off. If you didn't have your sports uniform, you would be punished either with a detention or a phone call home, unless you had a great excuse. If your excuse was reasonable, like, my leg is busted, here's a doctor's note, then you'd be fine. So, here's the hero of our story, without a PE uniform, and without a great excuse, but he needs one to get out of trouble. The teacher comes over to mark him and asks,
Where's your uniform, mate?
To which the kid says without hesitation or trepidation,
Oh, well, sir, on the weekend, I was working on a radioactive gun, and some of the radiation spilled out and went onto my PE uniform, so now I can't wear it.
The teacher was understandably taken aback, because what kind of excuse is that? He just marked the clipboard and walked away, and I imagine he marked phone call home. My group figured out a disgusting use for the discarded ham and cheese sandwiches that none of us wanted to eat. Also, I'll never get over the fact that kids would rather throw away a sandwich and starve than just ask their parents who made the food with love in the first place to give them something different. Anyways, this disgusting recipe was very easy to make. Take the sandwich in a Ziploc bag, put some water in it, or any other liquids, and any other food you didn't want to eat. Mash it all together, nice and thoroughly, and bang! You've got what we like to call a vomit bag. These could become extremely festy and were thrown, basically everywhere at the walls, roofs, ground, kids we didn't like. One day, some of my mates were walking home from school together, and one of them had a vomit bag that he needed to get rid of. And in the distance, he spotted an empty car with its door open. I imagine the owner wasn't too far away and was most likely going to return to the car very, very soon. So, as my friends walked past, he threw it in. Sludge went down all the interior of the car, just went absolutely everywhere. My friends immediately booked it down the road as fast as they could, and they weren't caught either. And I imagine when the owner found his car with this disgusting mess inside of it, I don't think he would have been too happy.
Oh, fuck me! What the fuck is that? It can take forever to clean that shit.
I've got so many more high school memories and stories to share, so like and subscribe if you would like to see some of those.